Hi there, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Today's topic is a disturbing one, interest crediting methods with indexed annuities. I get this a lot. I've written a book on it. I know it backwards and forwards. I always say there's 5 people in the world that fully understand indexed annuities, and I think I know the other 4. We'll talk about it after this. So index crediting methods with indexed annuities, they used to be called equity indexed annuities. Some stupid agents and advisors call them hybrid annuities. Hybrid's a car, hybrid's a plant. Hybrid can even be a mattress, I found out the other day when shopping with my wife at the furniture store. But it's not an annuity. It's not a hybrid annuity. Stan, tell me about the hybrid annuity. There's no such thing. I used to drive a Honda Insight, which was the first hybrid car in this country. 68 miles a gallon, put 275,000 miles on it. But that's a hybrid. It's not an annuity. But let's talk about index crediting methods. I'm going to start right here. I've written a book on indexed annuities that describe index crediting methods, caps, spreads, and participation rates till your stomach hurts. If you go to my YouTube channel and you type into the space bar, indexed annuity or index annuity crediting methods, I've done numerous videos on the details of this. The reason I wanted this topic again from my consultants and lawyers and all the people that choose this stuff for me is I want to make sure that you're not buying the dream. Indexed annuities were put on the planet in 1995 to compete with CD returns, to compete with CD returns, to compete with CD returns. They're not market products. I know the pitch, market upside with no downside, market participation with principal protection. Sounds great, superhero. But it doesn't work like that. At the time of this taping, check the date, there's over 800 versions and combinations of index crediting methods. You want to go through all 800? Okay, let's do it right now. All 800 were designed to give you CD-type returns. How about that? Hate mail, stan@theannuityman.com. But you know I'm right. Written a book on it, Fixed Index Annuity Owner's Manual. You can go to my site at theannuityman.com and download it. Or you can watch a bunch of videos where I actually did go through it. I mean, they had to have a vomit bag beside me. The reason it's a vomit bag is because the way they're sold. Well, you know, this boy over here said that you get me 7, 9, 10, 11%. Like, if I'd have owned it 10 years ago, this is what it would have been. If, you know, the potential, the hypothetical, the theoreticals, the unicorns chasing the butterflies, returns that never seem to happen. Now, what happens in the index annuity world, a lot of times, not all the time, okay? There's some ones that I guess are acceptable, but we don't look at that, okay? We use index annuities as a delivery system for the contractual guaranteed income riders if you need income in the future. But the index annuity story is flawed. The majority, not all, the majority of index annuities, you can lock in your gains 1 day per year. The other 364, you're an annuity eunuch. Look it up. Eunuch. Can't do a thing. You got to wait for hold, like Braveheart, right? A lot of times, those last 2 weeks, things happen in the market and you don't get the return. They're CD products. There's nothing wrong with that. If the index annuity world would talk about them as CD products, which they are, which is how they were designed in 1995, and oh, spoiler alert, since then have returned CD-type returns, the rational people in the index annuity world call me all the time. They're, what's a CD or a little bit better product? Well, let's present it like that. I agree with you. CD are a little bit better. Maybe. Can't lose money because it's a fixed annuity. It's not a security. It's regulated at the state level. It's not regulated by FINRA and the NASD and SEC. It's a state-regulated product that you have to pass a state life insurance license test and get a 70 on it to sell it. It's also the product that attaches the upfront bonus, which is garbage, which is candy for the stupid. 100 pennies in the dollar, there's not 100 pennies plus 30 extra pennies for the bonus. There's not that. And now the brokerage world, where I came from, Morgan Stanley, Dean, Witter, Payne, Weber, UBS. I guess I should say UBS kind of in a Swiss, UBS. Is that Swiss, Dr. V? I don't know what that is. Anyway, work there. They have a product now that's called a registered index-linked annuity. That's their version of the indexed annuity. And the reason they have a version is because so much money was coming out of the brokerage and bank world to the index annuity dream pitch garbage that they had to come up with their own. And they did. And I told someone the other day, because they asked me, which one would you buy? I said, am I on a deserted island? Yes. Got to buy just these two? Yes. Do you have a loaded gun in your hand? Yes. Is it loaded? Yes. You just asked that. And you got to buy one? Buy the RILA. And I don't sell RILAs. I'll never sell a RILA. Okay? Because it's not guaranteed. RILA or index annuity, index crediting options, caps, spreads, participation rates, and go down the rabbit hole. There's even firms that do analysis of this crap. Unbelievable. I would rather you look at your hand and go, you know what? There's a line here, and there's a line here, and there's another line that intersects those two lines. That's more fruitful than looking at and trying to figure out index call options. Because, by the way, the index call options, cap spreads, participation rates, you can combine them too. You can have a cap with a participation rate. You can have a participation rate with a spread. Whew. You're talking about showing paintings to blind people. Oh my goodness, okay? All those mean limitations. They're limitations to the upside, which leads to the overall comment about this video and the reason I wanted to do it. If you want market growth, don't buy an annuity. Let me say it again, player. If you want market growth, don't buy an annuity. When I came, my last stop in the brokerage world was UBS in English. And I came out to the annuity world and I saw that the pitches for equity index annuities at the time, now index annuities, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? You're pitching that for market growth? No, that's a principal protection product, it's a CD product, that's fine. No, it's morphed into this crazy, insane, overhyped, overpitched, overpromised product. We probably sell more index annuities in the country than anybody, but we sell them as a delivery system for the income rider, not for the accumulation story. If you're an engineer, if you say, I still have to know, I still just have to know. Well, then go to my site, download the book on the Indexed Annuity Owner's Manual, and read about caps, spreads, and participation rates. I broke it down in simple, easy to understand Stanglish, that's English, Stan style, and you can understand it, or you can watch more videos on these. Early in my video career, they convinced me somehow to do the ones on the actual how they work. Good Lord. Terrible. You know, my comment now is, why are you doing that? What's your goal? Is your goal market participation? Then go buy the market. Don't buy an annuity. Can't have your cake and eat it too, even though it's presented as such. If you want a CD type return, then my advice would be get a MYGA, multi-year guarantee annuity, which is the annuity industry version of a CD. Why? Good question. It's because the interest rate guarantee is guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed on the index side. Most of them do have what's called a declared rate. In English, that means fixed rate. Instead, like if you said, I don't want the cap and the spread and the participation rate or whatever combination, I just want a declared rate, it's horrific. It's 1/2 of what you can get on a MYGA because they want you to participate in the index options. So, in summary, if you want market growth, don't buy an annuity. If you're overanalyzing indexed annuities, cap spreads, and participation rates, you're wasting your darn dang time. email me at stan@theannuityman.com if you want to get me on the phone one-on-one, and I will describe this. I'll go over it. And if you've purchased one and held it for 2 or 3 years, you know that it's not a market return product. 99% of you. One last thing. Above my head, correlating to this, is why people still hate annuities. Why people still hate annuities is a lot of the reason of what we talked about in this video. Hopes and dreams and unicorns and caps and spreads and participation rates. Give me a break. There's CD products, that's fine. Sometimes you do better than CDs. Sometimes you do less than CDs. Sometimes you get zero. My comment is, why wouldn't you just buy a MYGA and get a guaranteed interest rate? But that video you're going to have fun with, because it's why people still hate annuities. They don't hate me, though, I don't think. Well, I think some of the industry does, but they don't know me yet. You know, they haven't sat down and, as they say in the South, they've not broken bread with me. Let's break some bread with some butter, you know, because I am right about this. You buy an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do. Thanks for letting me vent. We'll see you next time.